The scripture for today is Mark chapter 6, verses 30 to 34 and 53 to 56. And here it is for you to read. Say it with me. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. This year is the 55th anniversary of the original Star Trek series. Its 5-year mission only lasted 3 years, but it has reached immortality. The original series continues its syndication. It stars cult figures with 11 series sequels, 13 feature-length films, and still selling billions of dollars of merchandise every year. There's something about space that captures the imagination. During the last administration, we witnessed the further militarization of space with its Space Force. And last Sunday, the latest evidence of space now in capitalist captivity, an ego-massaging plaything of billionaires finding ways to further monetize space. Richard Branson's mothership, Eve, carrying spaceplane Unity, beating out Amazon's Jeff Bezos and his Blue Ocean's New Shepard, and the SpaceX Dragon from Tesla's Elon Musk. This coming Tuesday, in 2 days, is the 52nd anniversary of Apollo 11's moon landing. I was 6 weeks shy of my 16th birthday on July 20th, 1969, when Apollo 11's lunar module set down at Tranquility Base. The Eagle has landed. 6.5 hours later, shortly before 10 p.m. on that Sunday night in our South St. Louis living room, where were you? My mom and dad and us 4 kids gathered around our 17-inch black and white Sylvania TV, and we watched the grainy picture of Neil Armstrong stepping off Eagle's footpad with those historic words, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." He was right, of course. That one small step was the culmination of tens of thousands of earlier steps, experiments, decisions, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and of course, lives lost. One small step, indeed. Since 1969, only 12 human beings have walked on the moon. Yet we all took that step. All humanity took that giant leap because it wasn't just a footstep he took, it was a leap of the imagination of what was now possible. In the words of President Kennedy 7 years earlier, we choose to go to the moon in this decade and do other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Let's shift gears now. Jesus and his friends, surrounded by throngs in need attempt to find some sanctuary, but are followed. They embarked on a small wooden fishing boat and crossed from Bethsaida on the northeast shore of the Sea of Galilee to Gennesaret on the western shore, between Capernaum and Magdala, but the retreat was unsuccessful. My groups have visited the archaeological dig at Bethsaida, and I've dug there. We visited the ruins of St. Peter's house in Capernaum and in Mary Magdalene's hometown, and the churches there, and the 2,000-year-old fishing boat at Gennesaret, and sailed in moonlit silence in a wooden boat on the Sea of Galilee. Normally, when we first set out from shore, there's excitement and lots of chatter. Then I ask the crew to play some gospel music, to which we all sing along. And then as we get out into the middle of the Sea of Galilee, for about a half hour, they turn off the engines and turn off the lights, and we float in silence in the deep dark, a night of 1,000 stars. The only sounds, the waves lapping up against the boat's wooden hull. And we remember the people we've met, their stories, their humility, their faith, and how we'll tell their stories when we return. And we remember Jesus too, his gentle voice, "Come away with me and rest a while." How he's the reason most of us have come in the first place. And how, like those in the reading, we come, we still come, we continue to come to him for healing. And in all these 22 years I've been coming, and all the scores of times I've been in that wooden boat on the sea, there hasn't been a time when I've not thought too of a different shore. As Carl Sagan put it, the earth as the shore of the cosmic ocean, and all that that means. The earth as the shore of the cosmic ocean, and what it means to journey deep into the truth beyond all truths, deep into the mystery, the shore of my own heart, who I am, what I am, my tears, my regrets, my dreams, and oh, why have I been gifted this one precious, unrepeatable life? My journey deep into the mystery of God on the ship of faith. Or as Rumi put it, heart is the sea, language is the shore, the language of love. So I'm thinking about shores today and the crossing between them. Funny thing about shores, maybe it's just that time of my life, but I've got to admit, I've been thinking about shores more and more lately. And my life that spanned between the shore of before I was and the shore of when I will be no more. And what will the crossing that is my life mean ultimately? You know, I see my kids building their lives, each one of them in their own way. And I see my grandkids, each precious and unique, their own persons, really. And it's a wonderful thing, each one. But it makes me realize the fleeting nature of it all. Where have these 67 years gone? What will I leave behind? What memories? What will it matter that I crossed this way, that I crossed this planet? Will I have made a difference? We get caught up tending to the everyday, don't we? Raising our kids, making ends meet, doing what's demanded of us with our families, our friendships, our responsibilities as citizens, making our small corner of the universe a better place, a more just place. Our plates are always mighty full. Yet, if this is true for us, people of privilege, what of those for whom contemplating, even contemplating such things, is a luxury? Whose only thought when they wake up is, at best, choosing between rent or food, or like those on our southern border, fleeing danger in their home country or separation from their kids in the land of the free, their own perilous crossing. Bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the lady says. I was hungry, thirsty, I was a stranger, the master says. And then we'll put you in chain link prisons on our border. And don't even get me started about what's happening in mostly red states, spreading lies about vaccines that put us all in danger. And well, since this is church, I can't use the language I really want to fully express how I feel about efforts around the country at voter suppression. As of June 1st, 361 bills in 47 states. All this aided and abetted by churches, by Christians on the right. You and I, we go about our business, living our lives, days, then months, then years, and who knows where they've gone. Until here and there, something happens, a rupture into time, an ending of some kind, or a new beginning, a job loss, a birth, a divorce, or you fall in love, a diagnosis, a death. Something happens that causes you to ponder the crossing which is your life with new eyes, perhaps a new heart. Each of us has our own crossings from one shore to the other. Life's not easy. Space, the final frontier. Yet each of us have our own final frontiers too, to boldly go where we haven't gone before. What frontier do you have yet to cross? Is there someone you need to forgive or be forgiven by? Maybe a family member or someone close. Or maybe you need to forgive yourself if you're able to be whole again. Is there something from the past you need to let go of? Or is there a different future you need to embrace in order to be free? Is there a fear that's keeping you bound up? Or maybe it's your need for control. Is that the frontier you need to cross? Or is there a risk that you can't quite yet take, but know you need to? What do you need to say goodbye to in order to say yes to the fullness of your life? In order to say yes to the invitation of Jesus? How many chances do we get? How many chances do we get in our one precious, unrepeatable life? So many shores to leave behind, so many shores to head toward, and the crossing between them. The crossing. Each of these is such a personal thing. Only you know what they are for you. Only you know what you must do. Only you. But for what it's worth, we do know, don't we? that the only way to truly live is to grow. And the only way to grow is to change. And the only way you can change is to accept that fear is part of the journey and then embrace the anxious pounding of your heart and open yourself to the new possibilities awaiting you. Often the farther shore is unknown when you set out, but you set out anyway because it's never too late to set sail. Because you don't know how tight your chains have bound you until you cast them off. Because it's never too late to finally become who you've been your entire life but never believed. The very image of God. That's who you are. Never too late. Never too late. And if you don't find God on the shore you arrive at, then set sail again. But never stop your crossings. Like we witnessed 52 years ago at a base called Tranquility. Every giant leap begins with one small step. Many of us have lived long enough to look back on those moments when we knew a decision would be life-changing. But we also see when something that seemed inconsequential at the time changed our lives forever. We never know where or who the waves from the pebble we toss will touch. Change happens, growth happens, love happens, one pebble, one act, one vulnerability, one person at a time. Sometimes the final frontier is right in front of us. Sometimes it's in our own heart. We need to boldly go deeper than we've ever gone before. Today, what will be your one small step that will turn out to be a giant leap? I've been thinking about frontiers and shores this week, the shores behind me and the shores that lie ahead, what I need for the crossing and who I want to cross with, and the small steps, the giant leaps along the way. Come away with me, Jesus says, and rest a while. But seeing the multitudes, he had compassion on them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he crossed over, shore to shore, and all who came to him were healed. I have some friends, maybe you like to do this too, who love to walk the shores of Lake Michigan and hunt for treasures in the sand, shells and pebbles of various shapes and hues, but mostly they search for sea glass. I want to age like sea glass, the poet said, smoothed by tides but not broken. I want my hard edges to soften, to ride the waves, go with the flow, catch a wave and let it carry me to where I belong. Because if you give the sea something breakable, it will give you back something beautiful. I want to age like sea glass. Sometimes we're the sea, and sometimes we're the shore. The shore the waves crash upon, taking some things away, yet bringing unknown treasure. And sometimes, if you look really close, sometimes we're the sea glass, the sea glass the waves carry, and kiss the shore with us, right where we belong.